Have you ever wondered why we have different temperature scales? An intriguing question, isn't it? Well, it's time to satisfy that curiosity. Our world operates using two primary temperature scales, Celsius and Fahrenheit. But why are there two? What's the story behind them? And more importantly, why do they matter? These are the questions we'll be addressing. In today's video, we'll delve into the origins and reasoning behind the creation of these two scales. So get ready for a fascinating journey into the mystery of temperature scales. Let's begin with the Celsius scale, named after the Swedish astronomer Anders Celsius. Circling back to the year 1742, the world was graced with the birth of the Celsius temperature scale. Anders Celsius, an accomplished astronomer, felt compelled to develop a more coherent and universally applicable method of measuring temperature. The goal? To make sense of the seemingly arbitrary temperature scales that were in use at the time. So how did Celsius go about this? He focused on something that was consistent, reliable, and accessible to everyone: water. Celsius proposed a scale that set the freezing point of water at 0 degrees and the boiling point at 100 degrees under standard atmospheric conditions. This approach was logical, practical, and easily replicable, making it an instant success. Anders Celsius's genius was in his simplicity. By grounding his scale in the physical properties of water, he created a system that was not only easy to use, but also deeply intuitive. Imagine, if you will, a world where 0 is so cold that water freezes, and 100 is so hot that water boils. It's a scale that makes sense, right? So, Celsius provides a straightforward, logical approach to temperature measurement. But what about Fahrenheit? Now, let's turn our attention to the Fahrenheit scale, named after the German-Polish physicist Daniel Gabriel Fahrenheit. Born in the early 18th century, Fahrenheit was a man of curiosity and precision, traits that would lead him to invent his own temperature scale in 1724. Fahrenheit's scale was not arbitrarily designed. In fact, it was based on the freezing point of brine and the average human body temperature. You see, Fahrenheit wanted a scale that was practical and relevant to everyday life. To him, using the freezing point of brine, a mixture of salt and water, was a logical choice, as it represented a constant, reproducible temperature in a world without refrigeration. On the other end of the scale, Fahrenheit chose to use the human body temperature, which he initially set to be 100 degrees. However, later refinements led to the average human body temperature being pegged at 98.6 degrees on the Fahrenheit scale. So what about the 0 on this scale? Well, that was set as the coldest temperature Fahrenheit could achieve in his lab using a mix of ice, water, and ammonium chloride, a kind of salt. So, while Fahrenheit may seem less intuitive than Celsius, it has its own unique logic based on the conditions of its time. Now that we've covered the history and reasoning behind both scales, let's summarize the key points. The Celsius scale, named after the Swedish astronomer Anders Celsius, is a centigrade scale where the freezing point of water is 0 degrees and the boiling point is 100 degrees. This temperature standard is widely used around the world, especially in scientific contexts. On the other hand, we have the Fahrenheit scale. Developed by the German physicist Daniel Gabriel Fahrenheit, this scale sets the freezing point of water at 32 degrees and the boiling point at 212 degrees. It's predominantly used in the United States and a few other countries. Both these scales, while different, serve the purpose of measuring temperature effectively in their own unique ways. They're based on logical principles, and their use today depends largely on regional preferences and scientific requirements. So, whether you're more comfortable with Celsius or Fahrenheit, both scales have their own unique histories and reasoning that make them useful in different contexts. And there you have it, the history and logic behind two of the most commonly used temperature scales in the world. As we wrap up, remember, knowledge is a gift best shared. So if you found this intriguing, why not dive deeper? Maybe even share what you've discovered with others. It's through curiosity and exploration that we continue to learn and grow. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share our channel if you found this video informative. Stay curious and keep exploring.